In this video, I'm going to show you what kind of paints might be good for you and what kind of brushes might work best for you. I'm going to give you a full review on these guys coming up next. Hey, I am here to go over some of these awesome materials that we use and hopefully give you some inside tips that could really help you with your paintings at home. Now, sometimes when I'm painting, I see in comments of people like, hey, maybe you got better brushes than me, or maybe you got better paint than me. Really, there are so many different variations of the paint and brushes, but to tell you the truth, I do tend to use pretty basic material, all right, basic stuff. So I want to kind of go over those things with you and just share a couple little details of what you can get. So we're going to start off with our brushes, all right, right here. I'm going to show you this guy. So this is one of the big packs of brushes that I get. It also has paint palette knives, things like that, but it is so fantastic. I get this at Michael's, and this thing is a 50 pack, so as you can see, lots of stuff going on in there. But I want to bring this up close so you can see it's got a lot of different size brushes. It's got flat, it's got round, it's got larger, smaller. It's even got fan brushes in here too. So as you can see, you know, it's got this nice bit of gold color on it here. There are some that are a little bit different here, so I can show you maybe the larger one. Let's open this up. And I'm going to show you this brush. All right, so this is awesome. This is when it's brand new. Now that sticker pack right here, brush pack right here is not gonna run you a lot of money, especially when you use those coupons that you can get at Michael's. But really, I mean, 10 bucks, 7 bucks for this entire pack, and really, I get really good results out of the brushes. Now you can see I have this brand new one here, and I've got one that I typically use on my events, and as you can see, wow, it is totally changed. It's a little bit rusted up right there. You can see it's seen some better days, you know. So eventually, like I said, I keep using some of these brushes until they are worn out. All right, you can see I got another one right here. It's just kind of maybe bent a little bit, but I'm still able to get some really good results. I still have been using these on a lot of the paintings that I'm still doing, and I keep it going. All right, so that's the brushes that I typically like to use. There's some other packs that you can get, but I'm telling you, if you can go get this 50 pack of brushes right here, they even make a 100 pack, I believe, or a 75 pack for just a little bit more, but for the price, this is fantastic. All right, now there's going to be some different types of paint that we use too. So the typical type that we use at a lot of my events and where I go on tour and things like that is going to be this paint right here, this blue acrylic paint. I'm going to use blue on all these different paints. So it's a big bottle, all right, retails for about 10 bucks. And again, I always spend a coupon on these guys here too. So, you know, you get a pretty good amount of paint. And I do like how the pigment comes out on your canvas, all right? So I do recommend this if you're gonna be painting a lot. Now, so we got this guy right here, and I'm gonna test all these for you. The next one we go is our basics right here, our basics line. So as you can see, it's a different kind of tube right here. This is the larger version. They do make a smaller version of this and even smaller. But it is a good medium place to go with learning how to paint. These are, I'd say, retail for about 8 bucks or so. But you do get some really good pigment out of these. They make a lot of different colors in these guys here too. They really have an entire line, and again, you go to Michael's and get all that. But huge line of colors. So if you don't like mixing too much or anything like that, you can find pretty much just about any type of color with the basic line right here. The next step up is going to be this Liquitex right here. All right, now this is where we start getting a little bit more pricier, and you'll see why if you do use this. I mean, this stuff can come out as thick as toothpaste sometimes. So it's very pigmented, it's very rich and saturated in color. So if you feel like you want to maybe eventually step up and do like amazing paintings and things of that nature, and you're going to be taking this more serious on that, you can do this. But like I said, I take it pretty dang serious, and I use this big jug right here on all of the paintings I ever do for every event, just because I get so much of it. All right, but I'm gonna go ahead and test these paints and see how you like them. So let's give it a shot. I've got my blues right here. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the larger flow acrylic. This is made from Artist Loft, and it is a big jug, and you can see I'm just gonna pour just a little bit right out there. So you can see right there, it's got a good amount of liquid right there. I'm gonna go ahead and grab just a small brush so you can just kind of see what I do with this. You can just take this out and just spread it along your paint, but it does have a good amount of thickness to it. All right, this is what I typically use at our events. They're great for mixing. It's a great price. You can see it does thin out a little bit, so you will see a lot of streakiness when you're doing your paintings. So just know that there is some water in there, and you can see it is thinning out quite a bit as I take it a little bit further out on that plate, the farther I go. But sometimes that can be really used to your advantage, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and we've got that one there. Now we're gonna try the Basics line. It's made by Liquitex. And we're gonna go ahead and just come right there. So you can see that automatically right there just showed you how that came out of that tube so much thicker. And I can just see it. You visually, this one's pooled a little bit. It's spread out a little bit more even, so it can, you know, see, I can maybe even make that paint move a little bit slowly. But this Liquitex right here, the Basics line, you can see it is thick, and I'm thinning it out across this plate, and it is still pretty thick. All right, so you can see what a difference. Now it's a little bit different pigment of a blue, so try not to pay too much attention into that. But wow, what a difference. All right, and that's like kind of your mid-grade right there. So you can see the difference. You can see a little bit of see-through right there. That's what I did start painting with, more of the Liquitex, this Basics brand. That line a little bit more when I first started painting. And you can see, wow, what a difference that does. Now we're gonna head over into our Liquitex, okay? This is an ultramarine blue. Comes in these tubes. This is gonna be one of your more top paints right here. But this one is almost like it won't even come out of the tube. So I almost have to like kind of swipe it a little bit, okay? Just to get it off to the plate. Now this one is really thick. You can see it has just got a very awesome pigment with it. It's the ultramarine blue. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of take some of this out. It's real thick. So sometimes you can put a little bit of water in these just to thin it out. Just depends on what you're painting. But take a look. I mean, I'm going pretty far across that plate, and it is not see-through at all. So out of these three, you can see this one's going to be your more price-effective one right here. You're going to get a lot more, but you can see that it is a little see-through. You still do get some good pigment, but you know, if you're going to be doing a lot of painting, this would be a little bit better for you. Then your mid one right here is very, very good. You can see I spread it out. It's still thick. It's got that nice consistency to it. And then of course you've got the Liquitex is a little bit more expensive in that white tube, but very, very thick. You can't even see through it. So that gives you a little bit of an idea between these paints. And you know, just depends on how much you actually want to spend, but there you go. Out of my review with these guys here, I'm gonna go ahead and say, if I'm doing a lot of painting, I'm just gonna keep using this. That's good enough for me. That's great. But if I want to actually be the most cost-effective with some really, you know, decent pigment and it doesn't run, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Basics brand right there. I think that is gonna be all you need to step up. And if you feel like eventually one day that you want to like keep going with it and really work with some of these fine arts and really nice pigments, then you can step it up there. But I think you'd be good to go with either one of these two. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoy, and we'll see you on the next show.